So we're still doing home team wins, huh?
Ugh, yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it really is. Kick the crap out of you this time, though.
Oh, shut up. I'll see you in April, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, what's up, loser?
I'm not responding to that.
But he called you by name.
Ha ha. Very funny.
Oh no, you guys don't get to ignore me today. I just traded for Bo Horvat.
What? No.
Jeez, no way. Yeah, that's right. Who's irrelevant now, huh?
Damn, man, that sucks.
Damn, we are in trouble now. Yeah, you are. I'm gonna go tell everyone else. He thinks he's gonna win a cup with Bo Horvat.
That was really nice of you, though.
Yeah, hey, you too, man. He really needed that.
Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That is not a dub. I just got back to Charleston. Did the drive back. We checked out of the hotel a little late. Had a big night, Had a big night. What a game to drive 4 hours to go see. I wore a blue cheek. Which arm am I showing you? Wore a blue cheek. Because in my brain I went, hey, this will bring us a little toughness, a little luck, because this game will be won or lost on the boards. And when I'm right, sometimes I am really right. Really, really right. We might not have won a board battle all night. I mean, I know that's not true, but that was an ass kicking. We just got our asses kicked. In no way, shape, or form were we the better team or a competitive team in that match. At all, full stop. It wasn't the refs. It wasn't any puck luck. It was nothing, but the Canes were way better than us. Were the refs all over the place? Sure, but we had 6 power plays, boys. How many goals did we get off those 6 power plays? Boom. I mean, what if we had 12? I don't know, maybe we get 1. The power play has gone cold. The shooters have gone cold, but that's not why we lost this game. As with all games that I actually attend, I am unable to do a full breakdown because I'm not going to rewatch the whole game now. It doesn't make a lot of sense too. And my memory's not sharp enough to do the full breakdown like that, mostly because of beers and whatnot. But we're going to talk about the game in a more general sense, and we're going to talk about a couple themes that came up through it. The Canes are the second best team in the league right now, points-wise. I hate them so much. But PNC Arena was beautiful as usual. I really enjoy it there. The fans, although just so dumb. Just kidding. No, the fans were great. They were super loud. They were really enjoyable to be around. I didn't have any issues with any of them. No fighting, nothing like that. To those of you who came and said hello to me, again, awesome. Thank you so much. It was really fun to meet you guys. Always, whenever I'm going to a game, you guys are more than welcome to come say hi and do whatever you'd like to do there. Not whatever you'd like. I feel like I just gave way too much permission. We should set some boundaries. But no, seriously, always come say hi. The Canes are going to start with Freddie and net. They would finish with Freddie and net. He had a very easy night. They are missing Slavin, which is a huge blow, as well as Pacioretty, but we know Pacioretty's out for the rest of the season, so we should probably stop mentioning that as an injury because if someone's not coming back, he's not part of the team anymore, right? I mean, not that he's not part of the team. You get what I'm saying. Like, you can't really consider it a continued injury. Ullmark is going to start for us. Ullmark was brilliant. I will take no Ullmark slander on this game at all. I thought Ullmark was great. So good. It's our third game in 4 days, the second of a back-to-back with travel once again against the second best team in the league, who have been home for 4 days and had 1 day break between their last game. The outcome, predictable. The actual effort, less so. Before we dive into a couple of the themes I saw in this game, Horvat has been traded, not to the Boston Bruins. Bo Horvat is now an Islander. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense for the Islanders, honestly. that doesn't seem to put them over the hump to me. But if they think they can sign him long term, he definitely bolsters that offense that desperately needs it. They're going to send Bevelier over to Vancouver. Aturati, a player that I really wanted the Bruins to select in the Liesel draft, last year's draft. But I was very happy with Liesel as well. He's been very, very good this year. And a top 12 protected pick for 2023 in the first round, of course. I am so okay with this. If you've been watching me on Twitter, watching me on YouTube, watching me wherever, you know I was out on Bo Horvat. I didn't want to give up what they were asking. I did not want him on this team. I am not a Horvat guy. Now, I know that there's still a chance he gets signed in the offseason if an extension doesn't get done and we try to bring him in. We'll reevaluate. But at a 22% shooting percentage and porous defense on a team that even the more I looked into it, the more it was very clear he's part of the bad defense. He doesn't have bad defensive numbers because the team's so bad at it. No, he's not. He's not good defensively. He has a absurd shooting percentage right now. Everything's going in for him 5-on-5. I don't think he's the right fit. I know we need centers, but I think that's a guy 3 years down the road where you're going, I just don't want him on the team, and we have him for 5 more years and we pay him so much. I don't think Bo Horvat's the guy. That being said, like, comment, subscribe. I know some of you won't do that after I just said that about Bo Horvat because you spent so much time saying we need to get Bo. But we're going to respectfully disagree because that's what adults can do. You and me, we're going to respectfully disagree. Let's talk about this game. Once again, I want to say there is no outside force that made us lose this game. The Boston Bruins had one scoring chance that entire game, real high danger chance, the entire game, and it wasn't the play we scored on. And the play we scored on was made possible due to a stick lift that sent a stick 30 feet in the air away from the puck. That's interference every time. I know that Chara used to do it all the time. They started cracking down on that. They call it way more. If you are away from the puck and you do that, that's a call. I'm amazed they let that go. I'm glad to see us score a goal. It didn't make a difference to me. That was not the real scoring chance that it turned out to be, because honestly, I thought Anderson should have made that stop. I was surprised it got in. It was a great shot, but I thought Anderson should have made that stop. That's a little unfair. It was a tip that Hall got on a Zacha shot, so tips are very hard to stop. But we were never in this game. We lost every board battle, turnovers. The Canes were way better than us. Do I think they're the better team? No. I think these two teams are very competitive. They'd have a very good 7-game series. I don't know who comes out on top. I think the East is loaded with teams, and no matter how good of a season you have in the regular season, your second and third round matchups should be hard. They should be difficult. I think if you're in the West, that's a very different story. But start to finish, the Canes were the better team. They really were. One of the things that was pointed out to me about midway through this game was by Subtle Hustle on the Discord, who was also at that game. And he pointed out that the Canes were just stacking the blue line, daring us to dump and chase, which was his point. They kept daring us to go over. And we would go over, we'd dump and chase, and we'd fail the entry every time. They're fast, they're good on their board battles, they have great layers, they just could keep us to the outside. We never got a real scoring chance. We weren't able to work inside the ice. Once or twice that game, we went, what if we just shove the puck to the outside and skate by the guy at the far corner and then work our way back in? And that seemed to be a little effective at times. But over and over, we just kept going to the dump and chase. It's very clear that if that is the plan against the Canes, we won't win that series at all. If they're going to stand you up at that blue line, which teams do, usually the answer is get behind them, use your own speed, and then set up and get inside on them. That's not happening. Our transition game was snuffed. Their neutral zone layers were too much. We really never got behind them. So we had to be able to carry it in and set up, because dumping it in wasn't working either. And we didn't try. We just weren't trying. The only times we were trying were on the power play, which went 0 for 6 because we could not get into the zone, because every time we tried some fancy move past 2 players rather than just moving it to the guy on the corner. I don't understand why there were no adjustments made. Line-wise, yes, there were adjustments. I didn't see any strategy adjustments made virtually the whole game. And maybe I was too close to see it, or maybe I'm just an idiot, but it felt like we had very little actual adjustments made for the plan of attack. The power play just kept getting stood up, right? Kept getting stood up over and over. Tried to carry in, stood up. And because you kept trying to deke through multiple people, Pasta being the most notable criminal of it all. I don't know. Criminal seems harsh. Just, we kept turning it over right there, over and over again. And that was the same 5-on-5. It felt like they weren't making adjustments. And that's something that for the first time this season, I'm going to look at Monty and be like, what is your plan, man? Like, how are you going to try to beat this team that will very likely be in your way to a cup? We do play them again in March, later in March, at their home ice. So, again, we should see them at their best with that. And I hope we have an adjustment to be made. But that was one of the things that was most frustrating during the game, is we could never set up, and anytime we did, we were all forced to the outside and had to make a couple quick plays, never opened up the interior, because we never carried the puck into the zone. Ever. We just tried to dump and chase over and over again, and it failed over and over again. Eventually, you got to go through them. You do. And on the power play, although the attempts were there, it was just, well, let's try to go through the middle of it. We'll go right through the middle of them. Didn't make sense to me. Once in a while on the power play, we would get an entry with a little give and go. And you go, do that! Over and over, do that! And they'd get away from it. Because they would try to one-man hero all the way through. I just didn't understand why that was... It was lazy. It was just lazy. Like I said, Olmark was fantastic. I want to stress that so much. He was so good in this game. They had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Multiple breakaways, which, yes, he let in 2 breakaway goals, but is that the standard we're holding at this point? They had like 6 of them. Not really. They had like 4, but still, just so many chances that he snuffed out. He was fantastic. Even with barely scraping over a 900 save percentage, he still had like a goal and a half saved above expected on like the advanced analytics. He was fantastic. Unfortunately, Carlo is continuing to struggle. I see this. Don't act like I don't notice it. He had another really tough game, and he gave up a back-breaking goal to Seth Jarvis, where he just got stripped. For no reason, too. But it happened. Jarvis comes in, he beats Olmark. It is what it is. Carlo isn't going anywhere. The team has already hinted at the fact that he's like a lock. That's not to say that they might not push him down a pair if, A, Clifton just continues to be really good, or B, they get more defensive help at the deadline, which a lot of you have said you want to see, and I'm kind of looking at that side too, thinking, well, a little more defensive depth doesn't hurt, and if it takes Carlo out of a few minutes, you'd like that. I still think Carlo is an excellent defensive defenseman. But the thing is, when you are a defensive defenseman, if you fuck that up, that means they get a real scoring chance. When we talk about McAvoy screwing stuff up sometimes, and very often it's in the offensive zone. It's not always on defense. But if your one job is like, hey, I shut these guys down, every time you fail, it is glaring. He also has the bad luck of when he fails, it feels like Olmark can make a save for every other defender. But when Carlos screws it up, it's going in the back of the net. And that's not an insult on Olmark. That's just, it feels like he has the worst luck of like, I made a mistake and it became a goal every time, which actually does kind of reflect on him some more. In that same kind of verse, Pasternak. Someone needs to sit him down and go, this isn't hero ball, man. Like, this isn't basketball. You don't have to do it alone. I don't know why this season, I know they've given him more freedom, but there's got to be a balance. And it's been some of the laziest crap I've seen from him the past couple of days. Just, I'm going to do it myself. He's going to skate through 4 guys, turns the puck over. The first goal allowed for Aho's breakaway comes up to the corner. Pasta takes it, and he tries to skate it in when he's got 2 black jerseys flying at him, rather than just dump it in. Like, I know I was complaining about dumping it in, but hey, maybe you don't try to deke through those 2 guys. And boom, it's back the other way. That's the first goal of the game. Stuff like that. We've talked about allowing chances the other way when you play like this. Absolutely. It's going to happen. But Pasternak has continued to make plays on the blue line that turn into turnovers and go the other way. If you're going to turn the puck over, pick your spots. You're going to try to beat a guy? You don't beat the guy when you're standing directly in front of your own net. You do that when you're skating into the offensive zone on the wall or you're getting into the slot. Like, do it then. But if you've got 4 guys in front of you and you're on the blue line, that's not the time to try to beat somebody. I know I'm contradicting other aspects of what we've talked about, but everything has a balance to it. You need to have your moments. Playing a team like the Canes, those moments become more glaring because they end up in the back of your net. We've talked about why the Bruins have been so good. It's because they're scoring when other teams make mistakes. The Canes didn't even need to do that in this game because they outplayed us so badly. But they certainly mostly scored when we made mistakes. They just probably could have scored another 3 or 4 goals off their play alone. God, that was an ass kicking. All that being said, I'm not like sweating. I'm not upset. I'm not pissed. Like, I still had a great time at the game. That's good. But it's not something where I'm panicking about this team. Trade deadline coming up. It puts things into more perspective. You still know you need more depth. You need more help. That's good for the team. These things have to happen. You have to have slumps. I did want to go all season without losing 3 in a row because that's one of my favorite stats to go into the playoffs with is this team is really good. I'm going to bet on this team if they just never tend to lose 3 in a row. But it happened. I think this Toronto game's big coming up this week. You obviously at Toronto, it's going to be a tough battle. The team's feeling low. This feels like a big game. Win this one because you do not want to go into the All-Star break having lost 4 straight. And then you're cold, you're resetting, you needed the break, you needed to rest up, but you don't want to feel like, God, we need a win as soon as we get out of that break. But at the end of the day, this team has still got a huge lead on the division. It's got a pretty good lead on the conference. You want home ice. Again, I don't really care about the President's Trophy, but you might have to get it to keep the Canes from having home ice through the playoffs. I feel pretty comfortable with where the team is. We're having a slump, and slumps happen. And I know a lot of you are upset, a lot of you are frustrated. Remember that these guys are people. Team's gassed. Team's tired. There's a lot of excuses. It's an 82-game season. Slumps like this are going to happen. I'd love to see a better effort for Toronto. If we go out against Toronto and we look flat like that again, we're going to have a different conversation. But right now, it's a slump. And that happens. And it's frustrating, but come on. It's our team. We love the Bees. Of course we're going to support them. Because go Bees. Go Bees!